I wrote this song probably 2 weeks ago, and it came somewhat quickly in terms of the initial idea that I had. There was a little bit of a hook that I couldn't stop getting out of my head, and there was a bit of like a strumming pattern that I kept going back to. I will show that, what the idea was. This was the initial idea of the song itself. And yeah, so that keeps going. That was basically the pre-chorus going to the chorus. That can take me for however long that process goes for, but I knew I really wanted to get this song written down because the pieces were there and they came quite quickly, and a common litmus test for me to know whether a song is worth pursuing or not is just how easily it comes and just how quickly I'm able to put the pieces together of the hook. And I think that's super important because I know if I'm really kind of working at a song for too long, it could still be quite inspiring and a really good song, but if I'm not really mumbling an idea quite early on and quite quickly, I try to just move on to the next thing. And that is kind of my process of just making sure I don't get too tunnel visioned in on an idea and I kind of get in my own way. So that is just something that I've been quite conscious about, and I don't know if that's something that you guys think about as well, but that's just a part of my process. I'm gonna try turn this idea into a song. Absolutely have no idea how this is going to go, but I know I've got the blueprint for the song, so now I've just got to start layering things down and hope for the best. Alright, let's add bass. So that took a bit longer than expected. Managed to get the bass and the guitar tracked so that at least there's a foundation for the song. I'm now going to just use like a Logic stock drum just to get the groove going and just to get that feel, so then I can play against that and then figure out what kind of layers I want to add to the song. Because this seems to be more electric heavy, I'll probably add some doubles with the electric guitar, some other layers with the electric guitar and different kind of synthy sounds, and then I'll move on to the keys. I find with the Logic drummer, it's actually quite useful in figuring out the kind of feels that you want. When you cut the track in different sections, it auto generates like a transition effect because it deems that as the end of that loop. So it allows me to kind of just play with different fill ideas. I usually already have a fill idea anyway, but sometimes I do get inspiration from the Logic drummer, and it's actually really intuitive and it helps give you a really cool starting point. So the important thing is to get the hook. I typically like having intros that play the main kind of hook or riff. It just sets the precedent, so when the chorus comes in, it hits even harder, and you're kind of just teasing the main song. But I think some of my favorite songs have always started with that engaging kind of hook, and it's signature to that song, and whenever you hear anyone else play it, you know exactly what that is, and that's kind of something that I want to try with this one. So I just put a pair of swim trunks. I couldn't find a rubber band to use, but I basically wanted to put it around the neck because I was hearing a lot of ringing and harmonics that were coming off the strings up here. So by putting something at the end, typically it just dampens the ringing tones from the guitar. I just think that helps with the recording aspect of things. It's not something that I would really typically care about when I'm actually playing, but when you're recording, those small details matter because you want to have as nice of a product to capture. Alright, so now I'm going to layer in acoustic guitar. I'm just going to be playing chords. I'm going to double it just to give it a bit of width and see how it goes. I'm just finding that with the DI recordings for electric guitar, depending on the kind of song, it can get really muddy when I double track them. So I'm trying a single guitar instead and just using effects to give it a bit of width. There's just a certain quality and sound that I can't achieve without having an actual mic'd up cabinet. So whatever, as long as the idea's there and I've got the pieces there, then what does it really matter, right? To just track a really rough vocal line just to get an idea of how the melody is going to sound on top of what I've got right now, and it'll just give me a bit of context, so when I start adding the different elements to the song, I know what has space and what I can add between the vocal lines. And I'm trying to work on being more efficient with my recording process, so I'll do a scratch vocal track early on to get all the layers down, and once I've got the layers a lot tighter, then I'll spend a bit more time dedicated to the vocals. I think what I did last time, which was to my detriment, is I spent a lot of time getting the vocals right early on and then realizing I was doing a lot of changes. Then I had to constantly keep retracking, so I was retracking vocals like 5, 6, 7 times from beginning to end, whereas if I just had a scratch demo, then I would have probably gotten a better outcome, but also it would have been less frustrating. So yeah, that was a learning experience that I've had so far in this process. Half past 3 was when we used to wander endlessly. Conversations flow like water. Then you disappeared one day. Reassuring smiles were never quite the same. A big thing that I want to focus on for these songs is getting more creative with the production, getting more involved with the transitions and ear candy, and starting to really learn about what that looks like, and trying to take ideas from songs that I really enjoy and hear what they do and see if I can create something similar without copying from them directly. But I can take ideas and understand that in this section they used a certain kind of sound to help it flow from one place to the other. So those things I think are what make a production stand out, and I am a lot more confident with creating the main elements of a song. It's just now coming down to getting more comfortable with production and learning how to get creative and sound design, really, to paint an atmosphere and paint an environment that the song lives in. I'm going to allow myself to make mistakes. I'm going to allow myself to experiment, and I'm not going to shoot down any kind of weird idea, and I'm just going to start throwing stuff on the wall and then keep progressing with this song. I really enjoy it. I think it's got a lot of potential. So I hear the general idea and where things want to go, and I hear a lot of missing elements, so I'm going to make notes of that and then add them in the next time I record. Let's do it!
day.